Christ is King. So if any brother wants to find me on Adiala of Original Sons of Thunder, you could contact me on Facebook. You look for Jeweler S.O.T. Wayne. That's Jeweler S.O.T. Wayne. Or if you prefer, you could look up John Wayne S.O.T. And you could contact me there. Put in a friend request, and I'll contact you through Messenger. If you want to email me, you could email me at sons, SONS, 2 TO Saints, SAINTS, at gmail.com. And you could leave a message there for me if you like, and I'll contact you. Anyway, I was going into more about, I'm really making a response to things that were said by Gabar Allah of G.M.S. Cause what has happened over the years in a lot of cases, a lot of brothers, what they'll do is to cover up the holy birth. They'll basically turn around and they'll do stuff like they'll bring up personal attacks to get rid of the holy birth scriptures that we're bringing out. And they try to shroud it or cover over the scriptures that we're bringing out. So I'm going to bring everybody's attention to 8:28. I'm going to go to 8:23 of John, right? And this is a statement that Christ made to the Pharisees. And he said unto them, ye are from beneath. So the beneath is earth. I am from above. The above is heaven. Ye are of this world, the world representing the earth. I am not of this world. Then it tells you to basically go to John 3:31. So I'm going to go to John 3:31 and see what it says there. And go John 3:31. So all the scriptures, even Gabar Allah pointed out in his video against me as a response to the show with vocab, he brought out that Christ said he came down from heaven. He's the bread that came down from heaven. And if he knows that, then he know that's a key scripture. And that's like what I'm saying. These men are studied men. And really all it is word comprehension. They don't comprehend what they're reading. All right, in the scriptures. 3:31. He that cometh from above, he that cometh from above is above all. So if I'm going to put this like this. If Christ was from Joseph, that mean that he would not have came from above. He would have came off the earth and just been earthy like the first Adam. But Christ came from above, and according to Galatians 4:4, he was made of a woman. And according to Luke 134 and 35, he was made a spiritual power from the Father. So he was made a spiritual power from the Father, right? He that cometh from above is above all. He that is of the earth is earthly, and speaketh of the earth. He that cometh from heaven is above all. So that's why when you read Matthew 22 and 41, it was the Pharisees, just like today, because G.M.S. really, they're still stuck in Phariseeism. Like they're laying claim and saying they're the apostles, but they have proven with their own mouths that they are not the apostles by false doctrine that they have been putting out over the years. While the Pharisees were gathered together, Jesus asked them. So Christ asked them, saying, "What think ye of Christ? Whose son is he?" So he's asking them, whose son is the Christ, right? They say unto him, the son of David. So they gave the glory to David and not the Most High. He saith unto them, how then doeth David in spirit call him Lord, saying, the Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou on my right hand. Now, who's David's Lord? Who was King David's Lord? It was Christ. Said, till I make thine enemies thy footstool. So that's what all Israel waiting for, right? And if David then call him Lord, how is he his son? See that? How is he his son? So this Christ is asking, how is Christ himself, how is he David's son if David called him Lord? So he was given a key scripture right here about his birth, that he's from the Most High. And I always bring this scripture up in John 8:42. Mark, Luke. Let's see, John. Bear with me a second. Yeah, John 8:42. Jesus said unto them, if God were your Father, ye would love me, for I proceeded forth and came from God. He came from the Most High. He came from Yahweh. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me. So for the Most High to send him, what? And you can link this scripture right up to Galatians 4 verse 4, because you could go to 4 verse 3 and then go to 4, because he said when the appointed time came, the Lord sent his son made of a woman. And then you could also read this scripture. Read John 16:27. Read John 17:8 and 25. Read those scriptures. Let's see. Let me go back to. So I'm going to go to this next thing. This combat over the holy birth been going on since before the split of One West in '95. It been going on since then. But what has happened is that the brothers that's ignored it, a lot of these camp leaders and minor figures, because I've been seeing where you got guys coming out in Maharaka and other brothers, they coming out and they asking, why do brothers believe in the holy birth? Well, the main thing is, it's written. Why don't y'all go by what's written? That's the record. It's written in the record. So if it's written in the record, who's ignoring it? Is the leaders, the big leaders and the minor leaders that came out of One West. All these splinter camps and groups, they still carrying false doctrine. Even though brothers over the years have even went to them and proved them wrong, they try to build up defenses to break the storyline. All right? And that's what I have. So I'm going into the video with Gabar when he was saying stuff, because I got to defend myself also on what these men are saying.
Of the nation of Israel. Once again, it's another video, and it comes to you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushai Ba'Shem, HaKadosh. All praises and glories definitely due, especially in these times. So I wanted to do a quick response to this video that Elder Apostle Tahar put up entitled Response 90s Hebrew Israelite Gives Wisdom to the Newcomers. And once again, you see the guy on the left, that's Vocab Malone, and he's interviewing one of the One Westers that, in my opinion, what's the word I'm looking for lack of a better word, my blatant opinion, this guy fell out a long time ago. As a matter of fact, when he was in the school, he was what you call a slacker. And I know that for a fact because I know this guy. Me and him used to hang out. As a matter of fact, he was part of our crew. It was Karamaya, it was myself, it was him. It was a brother by the name of Zabalawan. And this other, what we thought was a brother, but later turned out to be a snake, Tazadak. Yeah, Tazadak.
All right, so I'm going into what he said. So, as he said, me, Killer Priest, a brother named Zabalawan, we all hung out. Tazadak, he only hung out with us a few times. But as him saying I was a slacker, I had a job. I had to work every day. I had to be to work at 11 o'clock every day. I would go from, so on Monday, I just put it this way. I'm going to give, because I'm tired of brothers trying to run this thing down that I only sold jewelry. I did other things. Reason why I was drafted into One West and drafted in the Sons of Thunder, because I made jewelry. All right? I made different pieces to represent the nation. So I'm going to go into about what he was saying. I learned the truth in 1988 and 89, the nationalistic truth. I knew all the color scriptures and slavery scriptures and scriptures about the UFOs when I came into the school. I already knew all of that stuff before I came into the school. Was it put to use? No, it wasn't put to use. Nobody knew that I could teach except Karamaya and Zabalawan. Know why they knew I could teach? Because we would go out teaching together. And even with Gabar Allah, I used to teach alongside of them, but sometimes it was no need for me to teach with them. And this is after class, and I was very dedicated. So on Mondays, I would go to work. I would have to leave work, go to camp. I would go to camp early on Mondays. And I would stay in camp. I had to pack the van that the camp had in One West. I have to pack the van, help the whole camp, which was like 40, 50 brothers. Then I have to jump in the back of the van, take the van uptown to the school to help them unload the van or take it back to our campgrounds, which was on DeKalb Avenue. Because in the beginning, we would go right to DeKalb, or we'll go right to Buffalo Avenue. All right, because we start off at Buffalo Ave, but then we moved to DeKalb in Brooklyn, and then later on we end up moved uptown to Harlem, the 77 West. So Tuesdays, you have mandatory night. Now remember, I'm taking orders to make jewelry for brothers in the organization all during the week. And I'm not just talking about any brothers, I'm talking about like I could be making jewelry for Marshall. This is Marshall, the leader of the organization, with one of my pieces on. All right? With one of my necklaces on. So all the heads will order jewelry, and I have to make the pieces in my spare time because I'm going to work, I'm going to camp, and I'm doing all these things and that's a SOT uniform that Marshall has on with the lambskin fringes, all right, and the brush suede outfit. The tam was also SOT made. A brother named Lawyer and Micah Allah made that tam. So this is what they contributed to the organization. So Tuesday I have to work. Then I have to go up to the school. Is a mandatory class on Tuesday. I stay in the school. Normally class would end like 10:45, 11 the latest. At the end of the night, I jump up out of the chair, run to the back, open my table, and sell jewelry. Any monies I made, I had to give 30% of my earnings to the school. That was the agreement. All right. Now I gave, and it's 10%, but I would give 30%. And then, not to mention, brothers over the time, I had to be dealing with brothers not paying me, halfway paying me, giving me whatever they wanted here and there. They supposed to pay me in 2 weeks. They take 2 months. I had to deal with a lot of stuff back in old One West. And I'm just being truthful. I'm being truthful. So when Gabar's talking crap, he's saying stuff that it's kind of like he's taking shots. Oh, Wednesday, I had to go to work, then to camp. Thursday, I had to go to work, then to camp. No, Thursday, I had to go to work, then I had to come up for mandatory class. I wouldn't get off till 6, 7 p.m. Then I had to make jewelry before I get to the school. So, like I said, I already knew fundamental stuff. Most of the time when you go into classes, they were basically teaching things that the same stuff. Deuteronomy 28th chapter, Jeremiah 14:2, Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, 28:68, 28:41-42. They kept teaching the same fundamental teachings all the time. All the time. Alright? But they weren't teaching the gospel. They didn't teach the gospel of Christ. Alright? Reason why they wasn't teaching the gospel, because they were Torah oriented. They just stuck in the old covenant. Alright? Because when you leave the class, it's just like upk today. When you go into the Old Testament, you would see like it was more top heavy scriptures in the Old Testament. Alright? So, in Gabar Allah, yo, I'd rather be productive with my trade, because people work to get
through the spirit and power of Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh
trade.
All praises and glories definitely do, especially in these times. So I wanted to do a quick response to this video class. All he cared about was selling his jewelry. And a lot of the jewelry that he sold, in a couple of weeks, the jewelry would fall to pieces. I'm just telling the truth, okay?
So brothers back in that time could only afford $10 to $35 to $40 pieces. If it was a $50 piece of jewelry, that would be expensive for some brothers. Most brothers paid in installment plans, because like I said, in the beginning of the school, we only you have brothers with a lot of dead-end jobs. Some brothers like Gabar Allah with no job at all. Gabar Allah used to go to camp, and he'd be brown-nosing Tahar most of the time. And he's a man worshiper of Tahar. That's why he ended up the way he is now. He used to man worship Tahar. And he'll come to the class, and at the end of the class, you hear him going, hey, brother, I'll be out there with my table. And other brothers started setting up their tables, right, from their camps. But I was the first brother with a business up in the school, all right? So let me go back. So he'll be out there near the door when you leave the class, and he'll see if there's a brother, and then he want to claim brothers as like a sucker. So he'd be like, oh, you new to the school? Oh yeah, you like the classes? Yeah, brother, I be in camp all day, Ak. I be in camp all day. Yeah, brother. Can you donate some money to a brother? Because I be in camp all day, and I don't got no money. So if he couldn't hit a brother up for $10 or $20 that is leaving the school after the brother already paid tithes in the class, he would say, well, you think you could buy me a coffee? You think you could buy me a glazed donut? Why? Because you's a slacker. You wasn't working at all. You didn't have no family, no house, no none of that stuff. So for you to say that in this response to what you said, and I used to loan him money from my table that I used to make my wares. They're trying to make it seem like I just went to the school. I made jewelry all day at home, and I went up to the school and just sold my jewelry. And that's not the case. I was commissioned to sell stuff by Yashawan, all right? Because Yashawan seen that I could make pieces. One of the first pieces I made was a Byzantine piece because brothers was into this book, Nature Knows No Color Line by J. Rogers, which a lot of brothers and sisters read, and it shows like the coats of arms and all that stuff of us ruling in Europe, right? And brothers, those badges and stuff, they wanted symbols with swords on it and with hatchets and stuff like that. They wanted all those different types of symbols, all right, coats of arms, because they was in the Byzantine period, all right. They was studying the Byzantine period. So I'm just telling you what is the real. What is the real? All right, let me go back.
When it comes to you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Baal Shem, Yahweh Shai Baal Shem HaKakodash. This video, Karamiah, which was part of our crew, Karamiah, which he went on to become Killer Priest, he gave this name, he gave this Adiala guy, he gave him the name Fred Sanford. Now if you want...
Now, Killer Priest would never call me that in my face. He joked about everybody. He used to joke about Gabar being a beggar. He said everywhere this brother go, he be begging. All right? And on the other side of it, we were all friends. Friends make jokes on friends. So that's what it was. But the problem with Gabar Allah, the reason why Killer Priest left, which was called G.M.S., which was called Spirits of Truth at that time, because they were jealous of the SOT name. So they made Spirits of Truth. SOT, which is Sons of Thunder, and Spirits of Truth, is because they were in competition with our camp. And another reason is because Tahar wanted me to join their camp and organization, all right, and their cult camp. And they used to do, Tahar used to do mean stuff to Killer Priest. He used to make them work out, do jumping jacks in a 90-degree room till he passed out. Used to get on him about every little thing, everything nitpick, because he had issues with Judah. That's why he didn't get along with none of the Judite camps, Judite brothers in the school. He always was making a ruckus. That's who was stirring up trouble and backbiting on Lahab and Yashawan. It was him.
Ever watch Sanford and Son? You see how Fred walks, right? Adiala kind of walks like that. That's why, everybody got a nickname. That's why he got the nickname Fred Sanford. Okay?
Nobody never called me
Let me
that.
see what
That's a
else I remember
lie.
about
That's a
Adiala.
lie. Only one, that was an inside joke between you and
Wow.
Carl Meyer.
I'm
That
trying to
was
go
it.
back, back to that time. But the point is, the guy he never really applied himself at the school, okay? Which is no mystery that he.
I wasn't a brown noser, behind kisser. All right. Gabar Allah was a brown noser and a behind kisser of Tahar. You had other brothers. You had Yim Yim Rakar. Then he woke up and he left Tahar's camp. All right. It was a lot of brothers that were brown nosed Tahar. And that's the problem in Israel right now. You got a lot of brown noses that's walking around and causing all types of ruckus. You know? So this is why I made all those response videos. So if y'all come up on him, it's because he's trying to cover up about the holy birth coming out. They always do that. They go on a personal attacks to make you seem insufficient, that you don't know what you talking about in the scriptures. And this my response to Gabar Allah talking crap. All right.